Hey everyone, my name is Franklin, and today we're taking a look at the Blackheart's Bay map on Heroes of the Storm, alright? Heroes of the Storm recently released a full version, and a lot of people are probably struggling to understand the different mechanics of each map. Well, I'm going to give you a quick primer on all the mechanics that you need to understand, and why this map is one of the most unique. Alright, Heroes of the Storm features a very different setup from most MOBAs. Usually they only have one map and you just focus on objective play, but with this you really need to work together as a team to make the objectives yours, all right? And this one is definitely, in my opinion, this is the most unique map that Heroes has, and I'm going to tell you why, all right? First things first, you'll see the size of this map. It's actually very narrow and very short, all right? The reason this is the case is because of this odd lane structure, especially up top, all right? There's 3 lanes in this map, but you wouldn't be able to tell just by looking at it. The top lane here, obviously, you see the forts on top and you see the forts in the middle. The middle and top lanes are very, very, very close together. So this is a much different approach. Most people have a much different approach than your typical MOBA idea, all right? In my opinion, it is best to send 2 up top and 2 in the middle. But once again, the lanes are so close together that you shouldn't say I'm top or I'm middle. The 4 of you should work together. The first thing you want to do when the map starts is decide what 4 are going to go up here, because this watchtower, it's kind of turned into like more of a thing than it needs to be, but it's a very good idea to have this early. And you could definitely force a fight, force a level 1 fight. A lot of people just run into it, especially in quick queue. They don't really think about the consequences of just blindly rushing in. So if your team is coordinated, you can sneak a few easy kills out of this, especially if you have a good team fight early, like say, you know, a couple stuns. You have Muradin and Uther, or maybe even Stitches. One good situation for Stitches, right? You can really get a kill out of this early. And then 2 of you guys spread out. I wouldn't even be opposed to sending 1 top and 3 mid. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Where's the other person, you say? The other person is obviously going to be down bottom. And this person is very important. What's up, love? This person is very important, all right? Because when you send one person down, you need to know exactly who you're sending. You can't just send an assassin or your typical mid laner like mage or somebody who could deal a lot of damage and win a fight. You need to send somebody who's very durable, all right? Great examples of this are Sylvanas and Joanna. Definitely my top 2 favorites. Joanna and Sylvanas have amazing lane clear when set up properly, and they could easily force the towers to react to the bottom lane, giving you enough clearance to then go do the objectives, all right? So here we go. Here's the 2 objectives on the map, all right? The first one is the treasure chests, okay? Basically, coins in general is the objective. Once you get 10 coins, you can then turn them in to this guy here, Blackheart, all right? He's an undead pirate. And every time you turn him in, he's gonna increase the price that you need. So you're gonna start with 10. It's gonna go 12, 14, 16, 18, 22, infinite amounts. I mean, the game could go on forever. I don't believe there's a cap. But either way, the chests are your best source of them. They drop 5 coins afterwards. So once again, the bottom lane is that important because, you know, up top you could easily force a fight and win it and then get the chest. But down bottom, it's a 1v1. It's very recommended to make it a 1v1. As long as you have a good clear down bottom. If you can force the minions up to their gates, then you could easily have enough sight and presence. You know, they'll be forced to clear it out because they don't want to lose all their ammo so quickly. And then they'll go to the treasure chest. You'll already have maybe 3 of the 5 coins, and you could either finish it or, you know, engage and force a fight and get them out if you're a good enough bully. But very likely in competitive play, it's going to be difficult to do. This is a very back and forth type concept. So if the treasure chests aren't attainable, there's other options here. All right, these mercenaries here, they're not actually mercenaries. They once they're killed, they drop coins. Right, that's their sole purpose. They are here and here on the map. All right, these guys are pretty important as well. In fact, I've seen a lot of people kind of jungle on this map where they literally just go around. They have one person roam and just clear those out. If you have like Raynor is really good at this, or, you know, I guess any real assassin or anybody with strong burst damage can do this very well. If you clear all 4 of those camps out, that's 8 free coins. And it's very unlikely that people will recognize the fact that you're going and doing this, especially up top. It's a bit more dangerous in the middle bottom here because right next to Blackheart are these objectives. So if you say cross Blackheart, you might actually run into the enemy team turning in. Now, when to turn in is a very interesting question, and I don't have the answer to that. It's very widely debated, even among high competitive play. A lot of people would say you only turn in when you have 10. But for example, say you're down bottom, you know, you're Joanna against like a Jaina and you just slaughtered her. You got all 5 coins and, you know, maybe you even cleared these camps. You only have 7. Should you turn in? You probably should. because you don't have any presence down bottom. They're not gaining experience either. So it's a good idea to clear and push so there's no more minions for you to clear, so you're not actually losing experience. But as long as it's a net trade, nobody's getting experience from bottom, it's not the end of the world. You should always strive to have somebody down bottom because the experience gain can really rack up over time. A lot of people just completely forget about bottom because of how strange this objective, this watchtower is up here. People really go nuts over this thing, and you have no idea how many times I've seen people just suicide in there just because it's in the middle of the map. You know what I mean? But once you have enough coins, definitely turn in. If you have many, it's definitely the time. Or you could also use your coins to exploit a team fight, right? You could force a fight. Say you have like you got 20 coins. People are going to recognize that. You'll have way more than you need, and they'll be trying to get them off you. For example, a lot of tanks, they last a lot. They only die 2-3 times a game. A good player, they're going to have a lot of coins if they don't turn in. So I find myself as a tank oftentimes with 18, 20 coins. They're going to seek me out. You can exploit that. You can know that and use that to your advantage. See, right next to Blackheart, there's these 2 fog walls, and even below that, there's 2 thicker ones. You could stage a team fight here. You could force a fight. If you can, ideally, you want to be in the one right of him if you're blue, or the one left of him if you're red. Once again, zoning the competition so they can't get to the objective and they're not prepared to meet you. They think they're going to run right to the objective, but they run into you early. And yeah, like I said, they're going to go there because once everybody's disappeared from the map, where else can they be? They're going to be turning in, especially when they see somebody with that many coins. And you could objectify that. You could actually, and that's one big issue. Your team gets too focused on turning in sometimes. This happens a lot in quick queue. Somebody's got like 8 coins and they're like, oh, I'm turning in, spam ping. Well, that's good. That's a good idea to turn in, but not when it's at the cost of either experience or a team fight. I've seen so many times like 2 people go to turn in, and then there's this team fight that develops in the middle or the top, 3v5, and you lose. And then they turned in, they didn't even get the ship, and you basically lost a huge portion of experience because of that. Now, once again, if you force these team fights, you should also recognize the strength of this boss up here, okay? This is something I didn't really discuss because objectives on this map, I feel, are far more important than minions, but the minions here as well, all right, the bruisers, these guys are really important, and you could really objectify the fact that people, so for example, you've gotten 3 ships already. You've easily handled the team fights, and you've gotten plenty of coins. You've won all the battles in the mid. Well, say your 4th one comes around. Maybe that's a bit too late in the game, but the 3rd one especially, it comes around and they think you're going for it. They're going to rush there, all right? So they're all, doing something else. They're clearing. They're behind because you're crushing their forts with the ship. They're all going to go, see, like 3 or 4 of them go there. Well, you exploit that. You have won the fight, so you command that presence. Now you can just go do the boss. Even if they have coins, let them turn it in, because the boss is going to do just as much as the ship, as long as we're not talking about at the very end of the game. At the very end of the game, another important thing to realize is the ship will one-shot the core if it's the only thing it can attack. One ship will do 100% of the damage to the core. So you really need to make sure that you're keeping these forts alive by denying pressure. If they get the boss, it's much more important than doing anything else at that point. You need to stop it, because if it gets through and breaks down a fort, that's one less ship that they're going to need to be able to win the game. And it's very common that you actually win the game just by doing the objective. You don't actually even need to team fight them to win it. If you have a good enough player to get coins, keep the treasure chest yours, and don't die constantly and lose the coins. You could easily just win the game without even getting a single kill. That's why this game is so unique, and that's why this map is so unique. So if you have any questions, let me know. But otherwise, that's it for Blackheart's Bay for me.